トビデオ
Not our fans. When you mess with our fans,
We need to make it hurt.
One of the big developments that has come out of the world of film, animation, and music in 2025 is the surprise success of one K-pop Demon Hunters. Honestly, I'm not that surprised at all. K-pop has been one of those genres that's been slowly growing in global dominance since the 2010s, and now it has reached a new peak, especially with the younger demographic. It has dominated both Netflix and the Billboard charts this year while continuing the long story tradition of appropriating black music through non-black singers, only this time it's been outsourced to South Korea. Another win for corporate America, everyone. But disregarding my overall cynicism, the formula presented by K-pop Demon Hunters is nothing new. The idea of idol singers also being magical superheroines or being thrust into larger-than-life scenarios has been done before. In fact, the whole enterprise was pioneered by Korea's neighbor, Japan. Thanks to its more homegrown sound and insular nature, the J-pop industry has not reaped the same international successes as the similarly massive K-pop industry. But thanks to its strong ties to the anime industry, the idol industry has been instrumental in making the singers it wishes to push veritable character archetypes of their own. Archetypes that usually need a magical hook to get audiences on board. Back in the 80s, the golden age of the idol industry, the portrayal of idols was always meant to be seen as aspirational. Therefore, the idol protagonist had to be a young girl gifted with the ability to turn into an idol and receive fame beyond her wildest dreams. Maybe she'll fight an evildoer on occasion, but the focus is always being on the best idol she can be. Like with K-pop Demon Hunters, the primary audience for idol-based anime in the 80s were children. Then the 90s came around and the culture began to shift. The young girls who grew up listening to aspirational idols soon became young women, and their taste shifted from J-pop idols to the alluring and glamorous hard rock bands that dominated the music scene in that decade. With no reliable young girl demographic to appeal to, the idol anime was in danger of fading away. But in this winter period for the idol industry, it was soon discovered that the most reliable demographic for pop idols were not little girls, but adult men. They bought the most merch, attended the most events, and were basically keeping the J-pop industry afloat in the 90s. So, when the time came to produce an idol anime in that period, the demographics predictably shifted.
あなたの信じる道を行くのです。あなたの信じる道を行くのです。あなたの信じる道を行くのです。あなたの
信じる道。私の道。私の信じる道。それはアイドルへの道。
In the far-off future, 14-year-old Mimu Imilton has made it her dream to become a famous idol singer. She wishes to become just like her own aspirational heroine, Yuri, the idol singer who brought world peace through the power of her music and was subsequently voted president of the world. Today is a big day for Mimu as she has been given the chance to audition in her hometown of Starland for Yuri. If she has a good showing, she'll not only impress her heroine, but also get a chance to join her squadron of 6 excellent idols. They are as follows. Ruka Polka, the small, cute-as-a-button actress idol.
エクセレントアイドルになりたいならスマイルよ。スマイル。
Corvette Hires, the glamorously sexy dancer idol.
オーディションにエントリーするならね、You see? はい、コルベットさん。Oh my pretty girl.
Layla B. Simmons, the toughest nails tomboyish rock star idol. Extra Kaido, the prim and proper pianist idol.
そこの新築りのお嬢ちゃん。美とは気品ですわ。気品。
Palpu Lanlan, the fun-loving, energetic martial arts idol.
アイドルって最高。最高。アイドルって楽しい。楽しい。アイドルって幸せ。幸せ。
and Shion Suzukaze, the calm, stoic ninja idol.
心に静かな水面を持つのです。動揺は波紋のごとく広がるもの。心の静けさを乱してしまいます。
Though Mimu almost doesn't make it in time, she's the last one to get on stage and sing her heart out for Yuri and the rest of the excellent idols. However, before she can even let out a single note into the vaunted golden microphone, 3 alien creatures swoop in and abduct the excellent idols, with Mimu getting swept up in the chaos and taken along for the ride. It turns out that Yuri and the rest of the excellent idols' cultural impact exists beyond planet Earth, and has extended into the furthest reaches of the galaxy. Under the funding of rich eccentric alien tycoon and idol fanboy Mr. Banana, an intergalactic competition has been set up to see who really are the best idols in the universe. With the 6 excellent idols, and Mimu representing Earth, they will have to face off against strange aliens and even stranger physical challenges, quiz games, and performances. Will they prevail? And will Mimu ever get a chance to do her audition? I did say I want to do something lighthearted after the bleak heaviness that was Boogie Pop Phantom. It was high time to delve into some light pandering nonsense. And you really don't get any more light and more pandering than 1995's Idol Project. It's an intriguing little time capsule where the 90s idea of otaku culture has fully taken over. Do you want girls who embody specific archetypes that you can pick and choose from? Do you want well-animated but random mech battles? Do you want shots of the core female cast's panty-clad asses every now and again? Well then, you are in luck because that's what this anime is all about. But is that really all there is to it? Do you think maybe Idol Project has more to offer? No! I'm not entertaining those questions this time. This anime is trash and not the yummy fresh kind. But why is this anime trash? Why is Idol Project unworthy of any callbacks? Time for me to lean into the microphone and tell you all about it. Idol Project began life as a computer game, Idol Project for the FM Town's personal computer. As the name implies, this is a raising project game where you play as Producer-chan, tasked with recruiting cute girls of various backgrounds, fashions, and specialties, and raise them up to be the best idols in Japan, basically being the example of the subgenre that would later spawn the popular Idolmaster series. Another selling point for the Idol Project series was its pretty heavy use of fan service. The developers needed to use every tool at their disposal, and that included shower scenes, panty shots, and ENF scenes. In fairness, they do keep it to just cheesecake. This isn't that kind of computer game, though I doubt it helped the stigma. Speaking of developers, who are the people who made this game? Well, they are a studio we've talked about at length before, Studio Ox. I did a more detailed history of Ox in my Wild Cardz video, but in case you need a quick refresher, here you go. Illustrator Atsuhiko Sugita founds a studio devoted to doing detailed promo art for the Transformers franchise. It becomes a training ground for many hot future mecha designers. After Transformers G1 ends, they switch up into becoming an anime subcontractor studio, and through primary character designer Noritaka Suzuki, they started producing their own anime in the mid-90s. Although, I didn't think they'd also have game studio in their resume as well. Like to dip their beak into everything, I guess. Idol Project was a hit among the 90s nerds of Japan, so of course, it was destined to get a sequel. But it's one thing to just have a sequel be released. It's a way bigger thing to have a video game sequel that also has an anime to promote alongside it. All signs point to Idol Project's reason for existing to be a multimedia franchise that Studio Ox could call their own, and they put their whole ass into it. The reason why Idol Project actually got popular among otaku was not because of its animation and certainly not because of its story, but because of its voice cast. The anime industry really did the idol industry a solid in the 90s because most of the big idols of that decade also pulled double duty as famous anime voice actresses. And Idol Project got quite a few in-demand idols to voice their idols. Mariko Kuda, Aya Hisakawa, Mika Kanai, and Kikuko Inoi. To really show how important the presence of these idol singers / seiyuu were to the success of Idol Project, I found an ancient Idol Project fan site that was translated into English, and most of it was devoted to recapping the tour events and cataloging the CDs that were promoted alongside the anime and games. Not good for researching production info, as the QA portions clearly reek of pre-screened questions, but a good barometer for where otaku culture needs to be in order for a project like Idol Project to succeed. So let's get into the project itself. Being a product of the mid-90s anime industry, there is a budget quality hanging in the air of Idol Project that probably wouldn't be there if it had been made 7 years earlier. The coloring is very basic, the art direction is all over the place, and the designs of the secondary characters feel like they are made out of simplistic shapes, and sometimes are just simplistic shapes. But apart from all of that, director Yasuchika Nagaoka and the staff at Studio Ox do an incredible job animation-wise. The cartoony premise is taken full advantage of, with the characters leaping off the page with their actions. You can tell that this was the product of designer freaks because so many of these scenes are boarded like they are showing off. All the animators wanted to keep the action on screen interesting. If they had a scene, the question they were asking is what's the most dynamic camera angle they can capture it from. I would even suggest that the entire character of Paupu was created solely so the animators could draw some incredibly kinetic martial arts action. If you have a chance to draw a cute anime girl beating down robots in space with her bare hands, you damn well better take it. Studio Ox really did have professionals working on this. Keisuke Watabe, Hisashi Saito, Mitsuru Ishihara, these are people who know how to get the most out of the moving image. Even in a trashy anime like this, I dare not call their efforts wasted here. Credit where credit is due. Also have to give kudos to Noritaka Suzuki and his designs for the principal cast. All of them are cute, embody their chosen archetype, and really pop out at you, the viewers. These are designs that really leave an impression. My personal favorite being Corvette and her space-age bunny girl maid design. Voice acting is also an area of commendable professionalism. These are voice actresses and idol singers, and they approach playing the roles they are given with their given expertise. Satomi Kurogi's specialty is voicing young children and small critters, so of course she's gonna play Ruka. But there is some flexing here and there. Kikuku Inoi is known for specializing in demure good girl archetypes, so you would expect her to voice a character like Mimu or even Shion. But she's actually given the role of Corvette, the idol who is touchy-feely in a way that's not normally allowed in her profession. English dub, meanwhile, is a bit of a mixed bag. There's a lot of talented people behind it, most of whom are under different stage names for possible union reasons, but the direction they are given makes them all sound very wooden. The only real performance out of the dub I like is Melissa Fawn as Corvette. She adds some nice spice to an already spicy character by giving her that Fifi LaFume style French accent.
Could these be the eyes that gazed at her? And could these be the very lips that whispered to her?
I'm so naughty. I'm such a little brat.
Alas, a lot of the good this anime does, its animation, its character designs, its voice acting, all of it's being done in service to a story that doesn't really deserve it. Between this and Wild Cardz, you can really tell that Studio Ox were a team of designers, not storytellers. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, good animation can only do so much. If the story isn't there, it's just gonna feel half-finished. Ask Disney. The badness doesn't actually begin at the start though. It actually does have a good setup that introduces us to our main cast and setting quite well, even if it does have to rely a lot on Mimu's expository monologue. The first episode is all about Mimu trying to run to her audition but gets sidetracked by many events. But those are the events that introduces us to the 6 excellent idols in the first place and their general personalities and what part of being an idol they do embody. Part of of me thought that this was actually a secret test of character for Mimu, since it feels like the Excellent Idols are assessing to see if she meets their standards for what they look for in an idol. That maybe that this is a secret part of the audition, and that her singing on stage was just the final exam portion of the test. We never get confirmation because the alien abduction plotline kicks in right when Mimu's about to set foot on stage. Okay, but now the plot proper has begun. This is what the Idol Project's about, which is the girls being enlisted to do a tropical game show to see who is the best idol to sing the song to welcome the new sun that will replace the one that is dying. And the reason why it must be the best idol is because that's the event that made Yuri intergalactically famous in the first place. Is this plot just an excuse to get these sexy anime girls in swimsuits for most of the anime's runtime? No duh. But it's a good premise to structure a story around, and maybe this is going to be another test for Mimu. A big point is made that the Excellent Idols know how to act like idols even in a situation of unexpected alien abduction.
さすがエクセレントアイドル。全く状況が把握できないままでも人前に出れば立派に笑顔で。
You would expect that Mimu's arc is that she needs to learn that being an idol is more than just singing some audition, and that she will be getting more on-the-job training during this Hawaiian Double Dare for Idols event. After all, as the main character, Mimu is the anchor of our story. And by anchor, I mean she completely drags it down to the watery depths below. While the rest of the idols are off playing game shows and getting into crazy mishaps gone sexual, Mimu is left wandering around the stadium and doing nothing but whining about how she has no idea what's going on and she doesn't know what to do when she hasn't had her audition yet, and boo-hoo-hoo.
ここどこなんだろう。私こんなとこで何してんだろう。オーディションの途中なのに。
Mimu sucks as a main character because she has an absolute zero agency in her own story. She's only prompted into action either because someone gives her the right pep talk at the right time, or she literally gets dragged off by one of the other idols because they need her help. She doesn't even figure out the final question of what song needs to be sang to make the sun be born again anew. That's Layla's job. But hey, at least Mimu's finally given a chance to do a performance, which should be easy since she still has the golden microphone from her audition. Unfortunately for Mimu, the signal goes out before her performance can actually be heard, and when we finally get it back online, she's already brought back the sun with her song, and credit is given to Yuri for some reason. Because Layla's own hologram of Yuri projected itself on stage, I think? It's not really explained very well. Did I mention Studio Ox is bad at storytelling? Whatever the case, there's a runner throughout the anime that whenever Mimu gets the chance to sing, she's either interrupted or fate intervenes to make sure nobody hears her and she doesn't get the credit for singing. It could have been a mildly humorous if cruel running gag, but for some reason, the writers decide to work this into Mimu's character arc just so it can cause her already low self-esteem to weather more blows. Goody. What sucks even more about having such a sad stack of a protagonist like Mimu around is that the parts of the story that don't involve her don't really pull their own weight either. The general humor of the anime is inoffensive, but nothing laugh out loud funny.
ガンガン働いてお金を貯めてスターランドへ帰るんです。でもちょっと寄り道。
And for much praises I give to the Excellent Idols and their designs, they are completely one-note characters defined solely by their archetype. Who's your favorite character? Cute? Sexy? Hot-blooded? Snooty? Happy? Or stoic? And aside from the petty rivalry between Layla and Extra, the Excellent Idols don't really have good character dynamics with each other, which makes them feel even less like a team. All these problems only get worse after we hit the halfway point. I think something really went wrong in production because the time between episodes 1 and 2 of the OVA was a 6-month period, whereas the time between episodes 2 and 3 was more than a year. That's a lot of time to pass between episodes for an otaku bait OVA with a middle-of-the-road budget. My guess is that they were completely at a loss as to where to go after the second episode. That's at least my working theory as to why the third episode opens with a montage of the Excellent Idols winning other events that happened off screen, and now they're all off kind of doing their own thing because the tropical theme planet has now been replaced with a movie theme planet, I guess.
いろいろあって今はこの映画の星ウリハット製でバイトしてます。
I don't know, Studio Ox can't tell a story. Mimu's lack of agency and whining only gets worse because throughout this episode she is literally dragged across the planet on her food delivery and getting to bear witness to what the other idols are doing. All this just to lead up to an incredibly pointless scene where she's mistaken for a famous space cop and is forced to negotiate with a giant alien blocking traffic that can only communicate through trumpet noises.
Palala, pala, palala, boo!
By this point, not only is Mimu not meshing with the other idols as a team, but the other idols aren't even meshing with each other. They're all off on their own adventures at this point, and the screen time between the 6 of them becomes incredibly uneven. It's so obvious that the animators cut the rest of the idol's screen time and gave it all to Palpu, simply because her screen time meant more opportunity to animate sick fights. When I watched this anime, I couldn't help but compare it to another anime from a few years ago called Zombieland Saga. That is also an anime about a group of idols being put in a supernatural situation, here being that they're all zombies of dead idols. But the difference between it and Idol Project is that the cast of Zombieland Saga all feels like they are working together as a team. And the main character of that anime, Sakura Minamoto, is also a red-headed sad sack with low self-esteem, but she still feels like she's part of the group. It's through the help of the other idols that she is able to come out of a massive funk near the end of the anime.
If the only way for the show to be a success is without you, then I would much rather the 7 of us fail together. Please, try to understand that.
Mimu, meanwhile, never gets a similar moment. She spends far too much time apart from the other idols wallowing in self-pity. In the final episode, where the idols have to put on a performance to save the world from turning into clones of Yuri as it hurtles towards the black hole that leads to the fires of hell, once again, Studio Oxy, you know the drill. Anyways, during that big performance, Mimu spends all that time somewhere else doing her usual moping about how she still hasn't had her audition yet, and that there's no way she can actually help them, and oh my god!
私何もできない。頑張ってるみんなを見るだけ。
honey, you tire me.
Finally, she realizes that she still has the golden microphone on her and is about to sing and...
落ち着いて、落ち着いて。ここは船の上なんだもん。
Oh lord. Anyway, after a whole series of moping, she finally is able to convince herself to start singing because she'll be singing in front of Yuri, which is a conclusion she already came to in the first episode, mind you. Anyways, after a whole series of moping, Mimu finally can convince herself to start singing because the rest of the idols need her help. And said rest of the idols decide to join her in accompaniment, and the day is saved. Whatever. Is Idol Project a project I was expecting too much from? Maybe. With this type of anime, I was expecting a guilty pleasure, and the level of panty shots and mecha fistfights were pleasant surprises in that regard. But I think this, along with Wild Cardz, lays bare all of Studio Oxa's limitations as a creative team, and why they didn't last long as their own production studio. On the surface, Idol Project fancies itself as a beautiful, fun melody, but reading into it on a deeper level reveals it is nothing more than pretty looking noise. Sugary sweet candy that isn't filling, yet spoils your appetite anyways. There is much better anime out there that explores similar premises that are far more rewarding uses of your time. Take a look at those while we yank Idol Project off the stage. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video or want to support this channel, please donate to my Patreon. Each dollar can give you early access to my videos as they come out, as well as keep the channel running a bit more smoothly. You can also subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, or just like this video. Either way, you'll be helping me out. That's all for now. See you for the next round of tapes.
Right, down, left, up, left, A button.